everybody, it's the 6th of December. I'm back on the allotment to have a look at what's been going on. Been spreading the manure on allotment number 1. You can see the sweet corn stalks there. They got a bit knocked over by the gales a few weeks ago. You see that one's gone one way and that one's gone another way. And that one's gone another way. It's like a whirlwind's gone at them. So I don't think there's any point trying to grow runner beans up that next year. But maybe this one is still firm enough. And then those have obviously all fallen down, but this one might be okay. So we'll see what they look like in the spring. The remains of the Calabres. We started to surround this with manure as well. Oh, and there's just a section here that needs some manure on it. And I'm going to pick this for our dinner tonight. There's supposed to be a lot of nutrition in the stalks. Further up, here's the chard, still looking okay. The frost makes it droop a bit and then it seems to come back afterwards. This one's pretty strong still. And here's my unfortunate bed of wheat seedlings, which are all growing up, where I am hoping the garlic is going to come up. Here are the broad beans. I took the netting and the hoops off, but one of our allotment neighbours gave us these like triangular wire cages, which I think are probably quite good for keeping birds off things. So I put that on there. You can actually see the mole's been here and made a little heap right next to that plant. But the plant's still okay, so live and let live. My cabbages are still under the hoops. Although I suppose there's no butterflies, no cabbage white kind of insects around at this time of year. But it'll protect them from the frost a little bit. There's my lovely Brussels sprouts, looking a bit prostrated by the frost, but still alive. Now some of these I left the tops on. People say, oh, you can take the tops off your Brussels sprouts and it will encourage the buds to grow. I don't know. Let's have a look at the sprouts in here, if I can get the camera in. There. Now you see, there are very firm buds there. They're going up the stalk. They're quite small at the top, whereas the one that I cut the top off, the buds at the top have actually tried to compensate by getting bigger, but they're a bit squashy. I wouldn't like to eat those at the moment. So, I mean, it's got the firm ones underneath, the same as the one that had the top still on it. I can't see really what the advantages of doing this. My leeks are looking good, actually. Even though they seem short and stubby, there's more leek under the ground, and they've flattened up pretty well, most of them. And whatever took the leaves off before it hasn't come back yet. And then this is my square of baby sweet corn plants, and there's a lot more of these stalks than the other sweet corn, and not so many have fallen down. There's a couple in the middle, been loosened by the gale, but I think they'll do pretty well for growing runner beans up. Our poor fruit cage here is in a right mess. You can see the bramble is thriving in the middle of there. It's really difficult to get the brambles out when you've got gooseberry bushes, which we planted too close together really. They're all crowded on top of each other and you can't get in there amongst all the thorns. And this lovely frame that Chris created, last winter it blew over in the gale. So we took the netting off just in case the same thing happened this year. But it really is, dare I say, a little bit flimsy. You see there, he had to prop it up with a big piece of wood to stop it from falling over again. So what I'd really like to do is build a new fruit cage, a bigger one, a stronger one, and plant things in it that are not too close together and kind of make a fresh start with the fruit. And I want to do it on the new allotment. So you can see there's already a couple of things growing there. This is cherry. It's already, I don't know, 6 or 7 feet tall, I should think. And this is a plum, which is, yeah, even taller, I'd say. So while the plum doesn't really need to be in a cage, the cherry tree does. And the question is, where is the cage going to go? Because these things have been planted here, and the cage will either have to include them or exclude them. So we've got a preliminary marker in the ground here. If that's the one corner of the cage, it's going to go up sort of just to the left of the plum tree. I'm not sure that's going to work. It might do. And then the other marker is there. So this would take the cage well to the right of the cherry tree. And then there would be some room in between to plant more things. We quite like the idea of planting another cherry tree. And also I want to move the gooseberry bushes that are too crowded and spread them out inside this fruit cage. Even though I'm not convinced that gooseberries need protecting. But it will be somewhere for them to go. There's a sort of fruity area. So there's our new vegetable bed, pretty well covered with the mushroom compost. Then there's going to be a lawn in the fruit cage. Behind the fruit cage, well, it's going to be my hazel hedge if I get around to planting it. I've got to remove this monstrosity first though. We've had a few bonfires there, and that's given me the idea it would be quite nice to actually have at some point in our lawn a fire pit, and then we can sit around it and cook things and roast things. That would be fun. I never saw the point of having a barbecue in your back garden, because by the time you've carried everything outdoors and set it all up and got the flames going, you might as well have cooked it in the kitchen, which is like 2 yards away or something. On the other hand, if you're on an allotment, 20 minutes walk away from home, there's some point in setting up a barbecue situation or a campfire and cooking food. I think we could try that next summer. Anyway, I better get on with some more compost shifting. We've got still quite a lot to do, so see you next time. Bye.